Fan or not, almost everyone that knows of One Piece knows of the Strawhats. From the iconic monster trio to characters such as Luffy, Chopper, and Usopp always being able to carry the brunt of comedy on the show, it's hard to ignore the absolute impact the Strawhats have on the story of One Piece. And rightfully so. These are the main characters of the series with some of the best and most iconic designs and abilities in all of Shonen. In this video, I'll be ranking these absolute anime titans from weakest to strongest post-Wano arc. This list will also include the recently added character Yamato, who will unsurprisingly be in the top half of this list. Spoiler ahead, as this contains information from the most recent chapters of One Piece. As a side note, holy shit, thank you guys so much for 100 and almost 200 subscribers now. This shit is absolutely insane, and honestly the feedback has been super heartwarming. I've always wanted to create a positive YouTube community, so hopefully we can continue that and help remove some of the negative stigma related to power scaling communities. Now with that, let's get to it. Alright, I'm sorry for putting disrespect on my boy's name, but the bottom of this list has to go to the brave warrior of the sea, God Usopp. Man, Usopp in Wano was kinda non-existent to be honest. I always thought the perfect mashup would have been a 2v2 between him and Nami and Alti in page 1, and while Nami did have pretty amazing showings against Alti, I unfortunately can't say the same thing about my boy Usopp. It really feels like we're waiting for something big to happen for both Usopp and Chopper, as both didn't really get anything new in the Wano arc. It feels like Usopp's last big buff was gaining observation haki in Dressrosa, and he still hasn't really learned how to use it at all, nor has it ever been mentioned since then, at least to my knowledge. Now I really do love Usopp, but love him or hate him, you have to admit he did take a pretty big backseat in Wano compared to some of the more powerful Straw Hats. And I do think we'll see him shine in the final arc of One Piece, presumably in a fight against a character like Van Augur, but we'll see when that time comes. For now, I'm more than comfortable putting him at the bottom. Number 10 is a real favorite of mine, so it saddens me that he's recently dropped down a tier for me, but it's the Doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates, Cotton Candy Lover, Tony Chopper. Man, I love Chopper, but similar to Usopp, at least combat-wise, he didn't have much to do in Wano. The craziest thing he did, which is impressive, is slapping Queen. However, the attack doesn't seem to injure him a crazy amount, but it's still taken as impressive to the people around him. Chopper does do a lot in Wano, however, he definitely plays a role as a medic and acts as a support to the combatants, similar to Usopp. There isn't much to say about Chopper. I think it's pretty clear he rolls Usopp, maybe even without Monster Point. However, due to him not being given a significant buff in a while, unlike pretty much every character above him, second to the bottom only seems fair for one of my favorite Straw Hats. Now, number 9 might be a little controversial to be putting over the likes of Chopper, but I have the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, Cat Burglar Nami. Okay, put away the pitchforks and torches, because I think I have a decent explanation for why Nami edges it out over Chopper. I think people underestimate how crazy it is that Nami received Zeus, as it's one of Big Mom's most powerful homies, and while Nami isn't able to create the exact same destructive power as Big fucking Mom, it's fair to say that Nami received a significant boost in power from gaining the Cloud. While it may have been impressive for Chopper to slap Queen, what I'd say is leagues more impressive is Nami stunning Big Mom with an attack from Zeus. We all know Big Mom is clearly more powerful than Queen, and anyone else in the series for that matter, so this is clearly no mean feat, even if she didn't do any real damage to the Yonko. Additionally, I believe Nami's performance against Alti was more impressive than almost anything the two below her have ever done. Nami landed multiple hits onto Alti and even defeated her with the power of Zeus, although to be fair, a big reason she won was because Alti sustained significant injuries from Big Mom as well. Remember, Alti at a time was clashing headbutts with Luffy, for God's sake, so the fact that Nami is doing anything in a fight against her is impressive. Furthermore, Nami is way more intelligent than Chopper, and probably even Usopp too. And now that she has a similar level of DPS to him, I honestly believe Nami defeats Chopper at a mid to high difficulty. That's why I believe number 9 is fair for a character like Nami. Now escaping the weakling trio, number 8 goes to the relatively weird character, and that's a musician of the Straw Hat Pirates, Soul King Brook. Now I definitely went back and forth on whether I wanted Brook higher or lower on this list, as he does show to be impressive and dependable on certain occasions, while also not showing to immediately have the same destructive power as characters such as Nami or even Chopper. However, I chose Brook at number 8 for a variety of reasons. First, his mindset is completely different from the weakling trio. He doesn't run away, he's dependable, and doesn't frighten easily, even when eyeing down the Yonko Big Mom for Christ's sake. Additionally, characters like Brook have always narratively been presented as above the 3 below him. I think back to when Sanji and Brook were clearly the ones taking the lead in Zou, or when Brook was the one to defeat Giola and Dressrosa. Brook has been given the job to save and protect the weakling trio numerous times, going to show that his fellow crewmates respect his strength. His ice powers have also been shown to be decently impressive, especially as he offers support to Robin in the fight against Black Maria. The reason I have Brook below characters such as Robin and Frankie is quite simple. He doesn't get a major fight to showcase his new skills or abilities in Wano, unlike the former two. Even against Black Maria, the majority of the fight was really Robin's fight. I don't think anyone would really disagree with that. While his ice abilities, as well as his ability to conjure a soul aura around him, are impressive, I would argue Franky and Robin have been even more so. With that, I think Brook is most likely number 8, but he's definitely a weird one. Now, number 7 may possibly be a bit controversial, as many would expect him to be a little bit higher, but I have the shipwright of the Straw Hat Pirates, Iron Man Franky. Alright, side note, Franky is the best character theme in the entire series. It's such a fucking hype machine, just listen to this shit. Banger. Huge banger, okay? Now, Franky has consistently been impressive throughout the New World, taking out characters such as Senior Pink, a couple numbers, as well as his most impressive feat of defeating Tobiropo member Sasaki in a true blue one-on-one fight. Now, Sasaki seems to be presented as one of the more powerful members of the Tobiropo, but it's pretty clear he isn't at the level of a character such as Who's Who. His fruit is also relatively impressive, however, Franky could correctly realize that he has a weak spot in his stomach area, Franky being smart enough to absolutely abuse this huge weakness. That being said, the fact that he has this huge weakness makes me believe he is less impressive than characters such as Who's Who, Black Maria, and even X-Drake. I'll explain the biggest reason I have him below the number 6 spot during their section, so for now, I have Franky at number 7. And number 6 goes to Devil Child Nico Robin. Now, Robin is definitely one of the weirder characters on this list, as before Wano, she notoriously hasn't been given the opportunity to shine for the entirety of the post-time skip, and honestly most of the series in general, which is unfortunate, because she has one of the most interesting devil fruits in the entire series, which I believe is entirely shown throughout her fight with Black Maria. Similar to Franky's fight, Robin's fight was for the most part a complete 1v1, with slight help from Brook, but Robin definitely did the majority of DPS. While Robin did struggle generally against Black Maria, I don't think she struggled significantly more than Franky in his fight. While I don't love using bounties for power scaling, it seems to get a little bit wishy-washy. It's significantly important to note that Oda chose to present in a Viver card that Black Maria has a higher bounty than Sasaki, and the second highest of the Tobiropo, only behind who I also said I think is the strongest Tobiropo member, Who's Who, making me believe that she's debatably slightly more powerful than the Fisherman. This is easily the best argument I believe there is for Robin being above Franky. However, it doesn't stop there, as we should obviously mention Robin's new abilities we learn of in her new fight with Maria. She was able to get an upper hand on Maria with her newly honed Fishman Karate, inspired palm strikes, and was brought to a whole new level when she displayed her Demonio Fleur and its Grand Jacuzzi Clutch ability. Those words are a handful. And this allowed her to defeat Black Maria. While I think Iron General Franky is more durable than Robin, I believe her superior intellect as well as her new moves would be valuable in cracking Franky, so I believe this would easily be Robin's most difficult fight, and I still believe Franky would win around 4 out of 10 times. I don't think I have to explain what the 5 characters above Robin are there, as they're the monsters of the Straw Hat Pirates, so I believe number 6 is a fair position for the Devil Child. Okay, there's a pretty huge gap between number 5 and 6 in my opinion, but number 5 goes to one of my favorite Straw Hats, the helmsman of the Straw Hat Pirates, Knight of the Sea Jinbei. I don't think I have to argue about Jinbei is above everyone below him. He's the first member of this list to contain Haki, and he fights the most powerful of the Tobiropo, Who's Who, by himself. It's funny, as when Jinbei was first introduced to the Straw Hats, many would argue that he was above characters like Sanji and even Zoro, but after both received pretty significant Wano buffs, I think it's obvious to say that Jinbei is below them at this point. I mean, Zoro and Sanji's main opponent in Wano were King and Queen, who are a whole tier above Who's Who. Still, Jinbei is clearly one of the most powerful of the Straw Hats, and you could definitely argue he's relative to the likes of characters such as Jack or even Queen if you really stretch it. For now though, Jinbei is clearly the number 5 position in my opinion. Number 4 goes to my favorite of the Straw Hats, their cook, Black Like Sanji. I think for most people, including myself, before Wano, it was really hard to argue Sanji was at the level of characters like Zoro, as we kept seeing him lose over and over again, never getting a really good fight. However, once we reach Wano, Sanji becomes a whole new monster. During his fight with the Queen, he awakens his genetic enhancements, courtesy of the German lineage, and is able to use his new Ifrit Janbei ability, one of the abilities I am absolutely stoked to see in the anime. It just looks super badass. Once awakening his Germa body, he pretty handily defeated Queen, and I'd argue it's been a long while since he's been this close to a character like Zoro. I believe Sanji's fight with Queen easily cemented him as a tier 1 Yonko Commander level character, rivaling the likes of characters such as Marco and Katakuri, and I genuinely believe that if he fought King, he most likely would have defeated him with similar difficulty to Zoro. Sanji's clearly an absolute monster who's pretty much blown Jinbei out of the water at this point, and could easily be argued to be able to defeat most pre-Admiral level characters. With that being said, there's a pretty simple reason he's on the top 3 of this list. Man, he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki. Luffy, Zoro, and Yamato, they all have advanced Conqueror's Haki at this point, putting them in a league of their own in comparison to Sanji. While it's arguable whether Sanji will also awaken the ability at some point, I'm curious to see what buffs the Wing of the Straw Hat Pirates will attain in the final arc. With that said, I think number 4 is easily the most obvious ranking for Sanji, so that's where I'll put him. And number 3 goes to the rival of Sanji and the vice captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. Now Zoro is obviously a monster, from the way he's breezed through the New World to his acquiring of the immensely powerful Enma, to his awakening of Conqueror's Haki. It's clear Zoro is at least a top tier Yonko Commander level character, debatably reaching Admiral level as well. His fight on the rooftop had him dealing serious damage to the likes of Kaido, and during his fight with King, once he realized how to counter King's immense durability, he clearly had the fight in the bag. There's not much to say about Zoro which hasn't already been said. In relation to this fight with King, I have a whole video talking about it where I go into detail about the narrative effects it has on Zoro, as well as Zoro's ability to overcome the most dangerous foe he's ever faced, besides obviously Kaido, Big Mom, and Mihawk. That being said, there isn't much to say, as I'll get into why I don't believe he's above the number 2 pick at the current point, so for number 3, it seems a decent fit for Zoro. And at this point, no surprise here, but number 2 goes to the newly joined member of the Straw Hat Pirates, the son of Kaido, Yamato. Yamato is absolutely insane, being able to fight toe-to-toe with a hybrid transformation Kaido and holding him back until Luffy got there. From Yamato's mystical Zoan Devil Fruit to their advanced Conqueror's Haki, it's clear to see that at the current point, Yamato is most likely the second strongest member of the Straw Hat Pirates. In relation to characters such as Zoro and Sanji, I'd argue this is how it's always been, where a new character joins the ranks of the Straw Hats and the fanbase believes they're going to take up a monster trio spot away from Zoro, or especially Sanji. However, over time, the two end up surpassing the new character and continue to be Luffy's left and right hand men. This happened with Jinbei, and arguably with Robin and Frankie too, when all 3 of them joined the crew, and over time, Zoro and Sanji continue to surpass the newly acquired characters, and I don't believe this will be any different. That being said, I think that Yamato is currently above the likes of Zoro due to their big fight being against a big bad Kaido in a 1v1 fight. Like I said prior, Yamato definitely held their own in the battle. While I think they'll be surpassed soon enough by both Zoro and Sanji, I think at the current point, it's fair to say Yamato is the second strongest member of the Straw Hat Pirates. And to no one's surprise, the number 1 spot goes to the boy, the future Pirate King, the main character of the goddamn series, and the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, Mugiwara Monkey D. Luffy. There really is no competition between Luffy and the characters below him, as once he obtained both his advanced Conqueror's Haki, as well as his revered Gear 5th Awakening, Luffy became on a level vastly above any of the characters below him, and I genuinely believe he could defeat any of the characters below him at a mid-difficulty at most. This is an obvious pick, so there isn't really much to say, but Luffy clearly deserves his number 1 spot, and what I'm mainly curious about is how Oda will give him a new challenge to overcome in the upcoming arc. Sorry, this number 1 spot is kinda short and anticlimactic, but it's pretty obvious it was gonna be Luffy, so number 1 is for the future Pirate King. And that's it. This list definitely has a few controversial opinions, mainly being Nami over Chopper, Robin over Frankie, and Yamato over Zoro, but I genuinely believe this is how the current Straw Hats rank in power. With that being said, this is how I'd rank the characters by strength. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you really like me, subscribe as well. Also, I have links to my other social media pages, my main one being my Twitter, so if you'd like to follow me there, that'd be much appreciated. And join the Discord too if you'd like. And with that, I will see y'all later.